Welcome back to Geekshow Arcade.
We're
Back in your ears.
back from whatever that in-between was.
Coming
That
out
was-
of quite the in-between.
Coming out of the vault.
How many? Twyman, question. How many? We saw 4 pictures. How many do you have? Just for reference.
Dozens.
Dozens. Okay.
I'm trying to make a book, remember? A book.
Right, he needs at least 100.
At least a
So-
Twitter account. Something.
He's got a ways to go.
I think
This
maybe
is
you,
Geek
I
Show
think maybe
Arcade.
you outsource that.
This is the Geek Show Arcade where we talk about video games and video game related things. And let's kick it off by introducing our panelists. He is our returning old technology enthusiast, Mr. Retro Gamer himself. It's Twyman.
That's me. I'm Twyman. Feeling a little bit sick, but you know, Tony inspired me when he showed up on death's door and still powered through, unlike other cast members have done in the past.
he's
I'm
a
here.
champ.
I'm powering through. He's a champ.
Thank
He
you.
inspires me. No one else on the show has like Tony.
I appreciate that.
Fair. Tony inspires me too.
And I
All
don't
right.
know who's next after me, but somebody.
It's Owen. Owen's next after you.
I
There
am
we go.
uninspirable. You can't. Not able to be inspired.
No spire at all.
None. I have zero motivation for anything.
Except for when you're Rowan. In
Bro,
which case,
that's a different person.
different person.
Yep.
You should bring out Rowan to the show sometime.
Ha! I don't know how it would work.
We
We'd have to do a
recorded the
morning
wrong
show.
time of day for Rowan to show
Yeah.
up. So he'll be up
Yeah.
all
We could
night.
change the time for just 1 week. I'd be down.
Maybe
He's not that interesting. He's just super judgmental and efficient.
So Jaren,
Like Jaren.
he
Yeah.
turns into Jared.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. Hey, it's Lando.
Hey, it's Lando. Happy to be here. Happy to play some video games. And I want you to know, Tony. I've been
listening.
playing. This last week I probably played 10, 15 maybe hours of video games.
Wow.
Switch.
Uh-huh.
This is just the
It's a
switch.
new record for me.
Switch to honeymoon period, though.
Hey,
Switch to
whatever it
honeymoon
takes.
period.
Whatever it
100%.
takes. Nice.
So that's it. So guess what, Owen?
What?
We have a host. His name's Tony.
No, I did not know that. Hey,
Hey, that's
Tony.
me. Check me out on Blue Sky at Quad T or on other Geek Show podcasts. All right. We have, I want to say, I believe we do have some arcade emails. Lando,
Oh, no, I don't think we do.
do we not?
No, there's lots of spam
Oh.
into our email account.
And
So
if we
double check.
do and we missed it, we'll do it next week. It's no biggie. It's no big deal.
No, that's the
Get-
PY
Yeah, we're-
TNY nonsense.
Yeah, we're lost. We're lost without you.
Mark
He's efficient.
And angry. And
And
judgmental.
judgmental.
See? All of those things. If you can be one thing, be efficient. All right.
Ron Swanson, right?
What's that?
Ron Swanson? Who says that? If you can be one thing, be efficient?
Ron
Isn't that from-
Swanson.
Is that a
isn't that from
Swanson? Yeah.
Yeah, Parks and Rec.
I couldn't remember if that was a Swanson or a
No,
letter
no
Kenny.
emails, Tony.
Okay. Cool. All right. Well, let's talk about the Switch 2 because, once again, 3 out of the 4 people here have one. And mostly I want to get the point of view of someone who's never owned a Switch before, which is Twyman. This is his first Switch.
Whoa. Okay.
What do I say?
Huge leap forward for you then in gaming handheld? Or have you had other handhelds?
Well, let's see. The last
Besides Game
handheld
Boy.
I had Game Boy Color.
Nice.
So a bit of a jump.
Good
Yep.
choice.
Yeah. Oh, I had a Game Com, if you know what that is. Probably not. That's pretty vague. But yeah, no, I the Switch came out. I think I was just too busy with Xbox. I don't know, but next thing I know, I'm hitting up Tony like, "Hey, should I get a Switch?" I think it's like 6 years into its cycle or something. And he's
Yeah.
like, the 2 might be coming out. There's rumors. What do you do?" Anyway, so luckily I held off long enough. I think I've only played on one like twice in my whole life. Both times were at work. So, and I had the bad experience where you you use just these little side things. Like one of the
Oh.
side controllers is your whole
Yeah.
controller, and you're trying to play like
that's
Super
the
Smash
worst.
Brothers, and I'm
I'd
like, this
never-
thing sucks.
Yeah, I never
my kids
thought
can
that
do
was a
that.
good idea.
Jaren probably can do that. Such small hands, but yeah, it's never a good experience.
So this is the first one. Thankfully, Tony hit me up that he was going to get one and was going to get one for me if I wanted one. And so he suffered through the online buying experience, which in the end, then everybody who just waited and went to the stores got them like almost a week ahead of us, but or ahead of me. So that was awesome. But yeah, besides that, so I took it. Me and my wife had our anniversary this weekend, and the Switch had just shown up, so I just took it to the hotel and said, why don't we try this thing out? Don't know what I'm doing. I bought some third-party controllers. So just some cheap, no-name, get 2 controllers for $25, and then I bought 8-bit Do for like $70.
Like
So
the
we got up
Ultimate,
there.
I think.
Yeah, the Ultimate.
8-bit Do Ultimate 2 or something like that.
And I don't know, so just a couple things. I don't want to take forever, but here's my biggest gripe so far. One, I hate that thing you slide this into, the dock. Because I know on the first one, people were scratching their screens, and every time I'm putting this in there, I'm just like, okay, don't hit the glass. I don't want to just drop it in. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
Let's get you a glass screen protector.
Yeah, I need to do that.
You can get a 3-pack for like $7. It's totally worth it.
But why is it that way? I don't know. It seems like it could be
Well,
designed differently. I don't
there's
like it.
actually a plastic screen protector on it already from Nintendo to protect the glass from going everywhere if it
yeah,
breaks.
but you don't want to
Yeah.
scratch
Have you
that
seen?
either.
You don't wanna
Have
scratch
you
it for
seen
sure,
the
but
pictures of
it's
people
not as
thinking they're
likely you
supposed to? Have you seen the pictures of people thinking they're supposed to peel that off?
Yeah, idiots.
It hasn't gone
jeez.
great for them.
It's super hard. The Jerry Rig Everything guy did it on his YouTube channel.
He had
Yeah.
to
And
really go at it.
Really hard, and not only that, but really hard to break the screen too
That was surprising. I think he hit it 50 times with a wrench.
with a wrench.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah, so
before.
there was that, and then I might not be smart enough, but these little side things, the only way I can figure you can charge them is if you plug them back into the main unit.
That's correct.
Is that right?
Yep. Unless you buy a
So then
standalone charger.
So then they include that little handheld thing you can snap them into to use as a controller,
Yeah.
but there's no plug on that.
No, that's
Nope.
basically just a plastic shell.
Right, so then I'm like, I realized that the other day, I'm like, I want to charge this, and oh, I've got to disassemble it from here. Mine's up in my closet where my Xbox is. I got to pull it out of there to connect it back in. I didn't really like that, but whatever.
I don't really like the
Interface-wise,
Joy-Cons in
go ahead.
general. I don't think they're very comfortable to
Yeah.
play anyway. I like to use a regular
Inter-
controller.
interface-wise, there is a thing here. So I am in the hotel, first switch, and I'm like, okay, there is a settings, and there is a controller section. How do I pair my new controller? Probably under controllers, right?
Nope.
Now yes.
Is it?
Yeah. There are but there's 2 options. Do you think you should choose search for controllers?
Oh, that's
Or
what
do
it
you
was,
think
yeah.
you should go under how to pair controllers?
I press
Search for controllers.
every damn time.
Yep, and you're not supposed to. That's to search for these little side dookie things.
Yeah.
If you
Or the
want to pair,
Nintendo Pro controllers.
you go under how to pair controllers, which to me thinks it's just a help article.
Right.
And then you don't hit OK on the screen that comes up that tells you how to snap in. No, you go to other pairing methods. What the heck am I doing? And anyway, it took me a long time to get paired. And then speaking of pairing, those cheapo no-name ones, they just connected right up and it was great. Fantastic. The 8-bit do should be called 8-bit don't because it didn't work. And I am sitting there fighting with this thing. It says right on the thing, this is for a Switch 2. I'm not asking it to do anything special. I cannot get the dang thing to work. And being an IT person, you never want to admit defeat. I'm not going to become my parents.
Or
just
look at
have
the
to-
directions.
You just have your Google food just hasn't worked out right. You just keep.
So
thinking.
I finally go Google it, get onto Reddit. Oh, yeah, it doesn't work out of the box. Impossible. It will never work out of the box. you have to update the firmware on the controller to this new version for it to even work, period, with Switch 2. So what if I don't have a computer? Like a lot of people don't.
You
You're
can
just
update
screwed.
the firmware through an app on your phone.
You can. I've never been able to get that to work. It's always had me plug in for the Ultimate software on the computer.
Oh, it doesn't work through the app? I thought it did work through the app on the
I
phone.
never have been able to get it to work.
Yeah,
do.
maybe.
So, yeah, it was kind of a
That's on-
bummer with the
that's on
controllers.
That's on 8-bit do though. That's not on
Right.
Nintendo.
That's on 8-bit do. So just beware, if you buy 8-bit do, you have to update it with a computer before it will work at all. So that was frustrating.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to move on to the next thing. I got the one with the Mario Kart, and I think Tony's in agreement that I would never pay $80 for that game. So you better get it in the bundle.
Yeah, get it for
I don't
50.
know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree, but I also am pretty firmly in the camp that no game is worth $80 right now.
Yeah, right? Like,
Right.
I guess I'm still not ready for that.
You
You
know?
don't think any
Li-
game, Tony, not even like Cyberpunk?
No,
If Cyberpunk 2 were to come out right now, it would not be worth
I
$80.
would complain all day about it. I would still buy it, but I would
So,
complain.
I want to talk
I
about
love
this, Tony.
that.
I want to talk about this.
I love that.
Why?
I would-
Why
I
would you
would
complain?
do it.
Because it's historically always been $60, and now they raised it $20. You're like, oh no, the world's dying. Like, why? Why? Tell me why.
It's a slippery slope.
I can
That-
tell you
that
why on
argument
Mario
sucks. I hate
Kart.
that argument. Try again.
I mean, on
It's-
Mario Kart, me and my wife, having never used Switches and haven't played Mario Kart in 10 years, I beat the whole game in like 2 hours.
Prove
Like
to-
gold,
that
like
it's-
gold stars, everything
it's
maxed out.
The onus is on the product maker to convince me that that product is worth 33% more than a competing product.
That's fair. So Mario Kart aside, that's a whole different story. We could talk about that in a second. But like, Tears of the Kingdom, I'm currently playing through yet again. Well, I never finished it the first time because I quit. But that's beside the point. There is so much dang content in that game. You can play that game for hours and hours and hours and hours. Like, if you spent 50 hours divided by 80,
Your
dollars,
logic is
math
100% flawed because you could get Minecraft for $20 and have unlimited playtime.
that's
Roblox,
the Mario Kart
Roblox-
argument.
Roblox is free, and you can have unlimited
Yeah,
playtime.
but that one's got other problems.
I'm just
But I
saying,
understand
like
your point.
your argument
You
doesn't
can't
hold
count-
water.
You can't
I
count play
I,
time.
I do think there are some games, not all games, mind you, some games that are worth $80.
Even Rockstar
That's
would
my argument.
even Rockstar would disagree with you, and they're going to release the most hyped game in the last decade in the spring, and they have already been on record saying it's not about how much the game costs; it's about selling quantity of games. That's
Yeah,
where you
that's
make
because they
your
have
money.
good marketing people.
I'm just saying, like,
They're not. I
Hmm.
mean, there's enough people like you that are going to complain about it. That would be enough bad marketing for them.
now
That they're going to avoid it.
I didn't
That's
say
my take.
$70 is too much to pay for a game. I said $80.
So $10 difference is just
That's it.
too far for you.
It's a threshold.
No, that's a $20 difference.
70
because
to 80.
60 was the baseline and has been forever, and 80 is a $20 difference. So it just
I'm on record saying I think there are some games that are worth $80.
I have yet maybe there are in the future. I have yet to see one right now though. And let me tell you exactly why Cyberpunk's not worth $80, because when it came out, it was broken. Okay,
Yeah.
it was in a terrible state.
Fine. So assume it came out in the perfect state, which no
Well-
computer program ever developed in the history of mankind's perfect. Tony.
Now, if it came out in a near perfect state, that would be the developer showing me that it's worth the money. That would be me seeing that going,
Yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
look at the amount of effort they put into this and the polish in this. I'll pony up the dough happily.
It's so crazy because like you're talking about Cyberpunk, right? Like
And I love
how long was-
Cyberpunk.
How long was that in development?
it,
You know,
it
wasn't
was in
that
development
for a long time?
Yeah, but there's been longer
You'd ex-
games, longer development cycles than
And that's
Cyberpunk.
I was gonna say though. So my point is, the development time doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be a polished
Yeah.
game when
No,
it
not
comes
at all.
out. You know.
In fact, it's almost an inverse. A
Yeah.
lot of the time, if it's in development for a very long time, chances are it's not going to come out in a super good state.
Yeah, it's 'cause
Because-
they're like, hey, we want our product. Push it out and fix it on
Yep.
the road. Like fix it build this boat while it's sailing.
Well, especially the AAA
you know?
game developers.
Yep.
Indie game developers have been in development for a long time tend to be in a good state. So it's,
That's-
it's,
yeah,
it's a
okay.
labor of love. At
I'll
that
give
point,
you that.
Right?
I'll give you that. Yep. But yeah,
So,
Mario Kart, I don't think the only way Mario Kart's worth $80 is if they continue to give us tracks for free for the next couple years.
Did they do that? With
Maybe.
8? Mario Kart 8.
But as of today, I would say it's not an $80 game.
And I wondered, like I was telling you, I wonder if they did it to push you to just get the bundle, because you're like, man, I might as well get it in the bundle because I
know,
want to
that's
spend
why-
$80 later.
That's why I got it. So I was like,
Yeah.
it's almost half the price. So
It's fun, but I think the thing that kind of appeals to me, which I haven't tried because it's $50 or $60, is my wife really likes Hogwarts Legacy, and she plays it on the Xbox, but she doesn't get to play very much because my kids are there all the time and they want to play Minecraft and Fortnite. And I was surprised, I guess, when I was in the App Store and saw that you can run it on this, apparently. So
Yeah.
there might be a use case for that where I can let her use this. There's no way I'm going to let my children touch this for a while.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole time I'm like, this stays in the closet. You do not look at it. $500 something. This is as much as my Xbox. It blows my mind. Like, no, you don't touch it. So, but yeah, I'm excited for the handheld aspect for like my wife to use it. I don't know if I'll ever really use it for games, but who knows?
check out it's a game called Fast Fusion. It's only $15. It's an indie game, and it's kind of like F-Zero. Really cool, like futuristic hyper car racer on crazy tracks. Really neat game, and it's only $15. It's super cool. All right, so Switch 2 so far, you like it?
So to give it a pro, so a major pro, and maybe this offsets everything I just said, and I would probably buy it again. If I had to buy it again, I would buy it again right now.
Okay.
Only because it is one of the only I know of games anymore where you can all four of you sit together on the couch and play together like we used to have to do.
Yep.
It drives me nuts with these new games where my two kids can't even play together on the same console, let alone with their friends. Everybody has to have a $500 console with an $80 game and a $100 controller, and then they talk over their headsets.
Yeah.
They're not
it's just
together.
not
They're
the
not
same.
interacting.
Not only
It's not
that,
the
but
same.
there are so many games that fall into that category that are so good.
Oh yeah.
So many games on the Switch that fall in
Couch
that category.
co-op. Couch co-op used to be like the bonding moment for
Oh, yeah.
gamers
Oh, yeah.
and stuff. You
And
know?
when we were playing this with my kids, me and my wife, who grew up with the other versions of the game back in the day on N64, and now we're like reliving it with our kids, we had a riot.
Well,
They were laughing and jumping up and down. They were getting into it like you remember those days,
I don't
getting
know.
all worked up.
turning.
I don't know why
Somebody blue shells you right at the line,
right at
and
the
you
line.
you're about to sock your own child in the mouth.
Yep, that happened to me just yesterday.
I don't know why this didn't occur to me to say a minute ago, but go pick up Mario Kart 8 Deluxe and just slam that onto your Switch 2, and you'll have an absolute blast with that, because it has, especially if you buy the expansion pass for it, I think there's over 100 tracks on that game.
Yeah.
That game's insane.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah, just an insane amount of tracks on that game.
Because this one has like
This one has
8 worlds
28
with 4
tracks right
apiece
now.
or something.
Yeah. Only has 28 tracks. Like I said, I bet they add to it. I really hope they give out a lot of tracks for free, because they're charging you $80 up front.
Right.
So
Yeah, I
we'll
hope
see.
so.
That's what somebody mentioned to us earlier, or maybe it was in the Discord. You know, if it's gonna be $80 or $90 for a game, like, you better give me DLC for free, right? Like, you better
Oh,
push
man.
updates.
Agree.
You better
100%.
push updates and give me further content for free.
Yeah, because this Mario Kart 8 bundle deluxe with booster or whatever,
Yeah,
it's 84.
booster pack. Yeah, but I will say, in that case, you are getting a lot of game for $84, because
Yeah.
you're getting the base game and the expansion pass at
We
once.
looked at it.
Mario.
We looked at it. and We were just like, we have fun playing the Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. Like we just did that as a family.
Yeah.
It was a blast.
Yeah, Mario 8 and Mario Kart just is one of those games you just the reappeal. You'll play it for years, right?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Right.
For sure.
Yeah, I'll have to save that one.
Yep.
It's like Smash
All right.
Brothers.
Let's talk about you know what? Speaking of hardware, Xbox put out a little minute and a half long video today. It was very weird, just out of nowhere. And it's just Sarah Bond, who's the what I can't remember what role she has at Xbox. She's one of the high up execs though at Xbox. And it's basically just a minute and a half of her saying, "Hey, we're
Xbox
working on some
Xbox president.
yeah, oh,
This is
okay,
the
there you go.
president of the Xbox.
Very high
division.
up.
He's like
Oh,
pretty
he was
high
not
up.
wrong.
Yeah.
She's very high up.
Yeah.
She basically it's a minute and a half or so of her saying, "We're working on the next set of hardware, and we are committed to Xbox hardware. We've got a multi-year deal going with AMD right now that's going to power the next Xbox hardware, next level performance, cutting edge graphics, breakthrough gameplay, and one of the best things she said, unmatched compatibility." And basically said they are, they want everything going forward to play everything from behind. So they want to
That's cool.
continue on their path of backwards compatibility. So yeah, it was basically a minute and a half of them just saying, "Don't worry, guys. We still got hardware coming. We do focus a lot on software right now, but there's still hardware coming down the pipe. It's going to be really good." So I think everyone was kind of afraid that
there
they
were
were
some
shying away from that.
There was some mixed news out there on the Reddit, on the gaming news, the Reddit subreddit gaming news and gaming subreddit. Some people were like, that is not, like they were linking to some version of the story. I see here you're on IGN's on IGN's, which they did a really good job covering this. But they're like, that's not what she said, and they were arguing back and forth about how it just says everything's an Xbox. Like they're not saying, but she specifically mentions console in there, so we'll have to see.
Let me tell you, if they weren't making more hardware, why would they invest in a multi-year deal with AMD?
Right.
What does AMD do?
Handhelds for that
Hardware.
Asus handheld, I guess maybe the ROG.
Nah, every bit of that hardware is Asus
Yeah.
and AMD, not Xbox and AMD or Xbox and Asus.
Xbox just letting them put those grips on the side without copyright
Basically,
infringement.
yeah. They're
Yeah.
like,
She's
you
like,
can
you know
use
what?
these. You can
and
use
come
this
with a launcher
model.
for Game Pass.
That's the big thing that they're doing is slimming down Windows, pulling out a bunch of crap that you don't need while you're playing games, so it doesn't take up resources.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. So that I thought that was pretty good. And then she did at the end also mention software stuff. She says Xbox is, quote, "That's why we're working closely with the Windows team to ensure that Windows is the #1 platform for gaming," which makes me think,
Like there's got to be a Windows Gaming Edition. Or
are they?
something
Yeah,
where-
are they going to
know?
put out a Windows Gaming Edition for full size hardware?
Yeah.
And if they keep talking about backwards compatibility, are we going to maybe see some sort of quality in-house emulator for Xbox games on your PC? Never know. Not saying it's going to happen, but I'm saying it's going to happen.
I like it.
There are signs.
Yeah, there are definitely signs that it might happen. So I think that would be super cool, because what that does is it makes game preservation a lot easier.
Yeah.
Because PC isn't going anywhere. And
Yep.
the way that software compatibility works on a PC, you can take a PC that's 30 years from now, and it will probably still be able to play games from right now.
Yep.
So interesting stuff.
I like when a company puts out a supported emulator for themselves. Like
Oh yeah.
that doesn't have to be hacked together by enthusiasts. I appreciate those guys because you need an emulator, right?
Somebody's
Like,
got to do it.
somebody's got to do it. So I truly appreciate the effort these people put in. Sometimes on never acknowledged work, but I like when a company will actually put in the work and put that out there.
Yep.
So
Well, and there's so much that Xbox has already done for software emulation, because they got like 360 games running on Xbox One and Xbox Series consoles, which they use a completely different architecture. Xbox 360 used PowerPC architecture, and they made all these emulators to make that run on x86 architecture. So,
Yep.
I mean, you're talking about 20 years plus of tribal knowledge within the Xbox team that they'll be able to apply if they want to do this emulator for PC, which I think they should. I think it would be, not only would it be good for game preservation, and I think they'd make a lot of money on it, but also just it would give it would create a lot of goodwill from the gaming community too.
yeah,
So,
a lot of people willing to buy those games digital again just to have them for an
Oh, yeah.
emulator.
100% for sure.
So
Speaking of games that you can purchase right now, here's one you shouldn't. This game is called Mind's Eye, and you might have seen people talking about it here and there online, because it is now probably the worst performing video game since Cyberpunk 2077 launched on the PS4 and Xbox One.
oh no,
It is terrible. This game got shown off a little bit back in, I want to say, the Game Awards show was the first one that kind of showed stuff on it back in January, and it looked kind of interesting. The most interesting piece of it was that the guy that runs the company that developed this, Build a Rocket Boy, used to be an executive at Rockstar and worked on the GTA games. So everyone thought, oh, this is going to be
it's got
a
some
GTA style
yeah.
game with good pedigree,
got some DNA in there.
Yep, some of that. Well, maybe it does, but it's hard to find it underneath all of this terribly performing technical problems.
Yep. Sometimes
Euro-
adding more DNA doesn't get the same result.
It's got a little too much DNA there.
Yeah.
Goofed it all up. Yeah, Eurogamer gave it a 1 out of 5.
It's doing bad.
IGN gave it a 4 out of 10, I believe. And so this is kind of just a PSA to either avoid it completely or wait until it gets
it's
patched
Yeah.
a lot.
Wait till it's $2 on Steam.
Yeah, and cheap. So, but yeah, I know there was a fair amount of people that were excited for this one, at least online from what I saw. So just thought I'd bring this up. It's don't spend any money on it right now. So
Wait.
on any platform. It has problems on every platform: PC, PS5, Xbox Series X, Xbox Series S.
So it runs bad. It
Yeah.
runs really bad.
I watched a little bit of. They talked about it on this week's Digital Foundry Direct for about 10 minutes or so, and everyone was just kind of like, "This needed another year of development minimum."
Yeah.
So
Mm.
bad.
Boom.
All right.
DNA.
It's got that right there. Let's talk about some good news. The Sag-Aftra video game voice actor strike is over.
It is. They've just pending some votes and approvals. It is over, and the Sag-Aftra initially started in the cinema Hollywood area and kind of flowed into voice acting, right? For video games, and it's. I would say that regulation is sometimes can be a little bit overbearing, especially when something like AI is so new and cutting edge. Trying to regulate and quash it before it gets too crazy can sometimes stifle possibility. But in this case, we've kind of seen already, especially when some people's voices have been fully just taken and fully digitized off of samples and then put into a game. With no recognition, and that's a big part of AI. It's being trained. It's not original content, and so like the people that actually created it are due some kind of something, right?
Yeah.
Like even on Spotify, even though Spotify pays them pennies for the songs when they get played, they still get something, right? Some sort of agreement. So SAG-AFTRA put in some information, interesting lines into the agreement about AI and what that has to be. One of the main things it got out of this was a 24% wage increase for performers, including health and safety protections, which I don't understand that. Maybe a loose mic boom.
No, so I actually looked that up a while back when this first started. The issue is they treat a lot of voice actors basically just like robots, and they say, give us that line, give us that
25
line again, give us that line again 50 times
see.
later, and it damages their voice.
Right.
If it's a line of dialogue or a scream or something that's very loud, right?
Right.
And then also it doesn't have they don't up till now they haven't had any protections for when they're doing motion capture stuff. If they
right. So if they got hurt,
blow their knee out or something
Right.
doing some extreme motion capture.
Yep. And so they've got those, which is, I mean, just the wage increase itself makes this if you're passionate about video games and you want to be a part of the industry, like, you can't survive on that type of wage. And so that's a huge one. Just that is it's going to be a huge boon just for the entire community and the games that we get out of it because of the increased financial viability of it. But then they also, like I said, they put in the AI stuff for transparency and consent. So it's not like they're banning it, but as an actor, you get the option to consent and negotiate compensation for if you do want to digitize your voice and sell that out, your likeness, your IP, right, your brand. So, but so yeah, it's got they've got it going, and it says the publishers represented by the IMA negotiating committee is Activision, Blind Light, Disney Character Voices Inc., Electronic Arts, Epic Games, Formosa Interactive, Insomniac Games, Take-Two Productions, and WB Games. So
big names,
those big studios out there. So this is a good thing. I don't know. So when we had the SAG-AFTRA strike, we felt that in TV shows and stuff because of the actors not doing that. Do you think that we're going to see that in video games where
we've already been seeing it because this has been going on for
a year now?
Yeah, something like a year.
Yeah.
There are some games that came out that the voice acting was not good.
Right.
And it was because they had to pick up they had to get scabs basically.
They either had to do scabs or try and do it full AI.
Yeah, full AI or
with what
people
they
that
could.
weren't part of the SAG-AFTRA organization, part of the guild, right?
Right.
I believe that was one of the reasons. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure that was one of the reasons that the voice acting had some crappiness in the Dragon Age game that came out last year.
Oh, okay.
Because some of the voice acting in that was not very good.
So
And I thought,
maybe they get to go back and patch it. Maybe that's a DLC.
yeah,
Re-recorded audio.
cost you $80.
Yeah, cost you. That'll be 24% more.
So, but yeah, I'm glad this is over, and I'm excited to see.
It's good. It's good for them.
Yeah, the
it's good
results
for
for
us.
this.
You know. So maybe this is one of the reasons why we have to pay $80 or $90 a game now. But I don't know.
Well, that's what I was saying. Like, show me why you're charging more, and if it's justified, then I'll stop complaining.
I'm in. Yep.
All right, and let's see real quick. We'll do a quick lightning round. I got 2 quickies right here. Prince of Persia, the remake, still happening.
I'm excited for this. I liked that game.
It was super good. One of the best games
really good. Yeah.
of that generation for sure. But there was some confusion because they posted a weird little video thing to its Twitter account, its X account, and then they pulled it down real quick. And everyone was like, what the heck? And it turned out that was actually supposed to be posted to the For Honor account, a different Ubisoft game. And so they had to specifically post again. Yeah, they had to specifically post again and be like, oh, sorry, that was for the wrong account. But we want you to know we're still deep in development for this remake, and it's going, it's going forward full steam. We're not, this wasn't any sort of sign that we're not doing this. So that was that's a little update there, and then file this one under right. Sure, Bungie, whatever you say. Bungie has delayed Marathon
I saw this.
indefinitely at this point. Now, we've
Dude.
talked about Marathon in the past because they are getting absolutely
I
torn
mean, just-
apart
yep.
for plagiarism issues with some of the in-game art and in-game stuff that people saw in the beta. And so they've said, well, we're not going to release in September, and we're not sure when we're going to release. It's postponed indefinitely due to, in response to your passionate feedback around
It's not wrong.
That's
passionate
code for-
feedback.
That's code for legal cease and desist letters we've received.
That's really what it seems like. Apparently, there was more than just that going on in the background, though. Things that have happened to this, they have been. Where was that spot in the? There was a spot in the article that had everything listed that had gone poorly for this. Here we go. The reboot has largely, let's see, it's faced leadership changes, substantial legal challenges, ongoing reports of declining staff morale, accusations
now.
of toxicity aimed at Bungie management, and the plagiarism scandal. So there's 5 big reasons why they decided maybe we should not release this right now.
There was another article I was reading where I can't remember what exec said. It was an executive. He's like, we apologize for this. This should never happen. And I just want to be like, it's already happened 5 other times.
Yeah.
Like this is the 6th time. Like
isn't the first
you don't
time, bro.
You don't apologize for the last one and be like, this was a massive oversight. We
Yeah.
can't believe this happened. I mean, like, buddy, you've got a perception issue now because I
Yep.
can't think of you as a studio that doesn't plagiarize. Figure out who's doing it and fire that developer.
Yep.
Somebody's
Well, and these
somebody's
aren't-
to be fired.
These aren't excuses either. Leadership changes, legal challenges, declined staff morale. This is a day at the office for most of
Yeah.
us. Toxicity.
Yeah.
I
It's like,
mean,
welcome. We're like, wait, what's going? Wait, they can do something about that? Wait,
Wait a second.
hold on.
take out the
so-
plagiarism, and this is normal.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
Maybe
just
even
called-
then.
That's just called game development,
Yeah.
which is a sad state of affairs about game development. So,
Yep.
all right. Well, there you go. And then I think Owen
I
had
have a
Yep.
quickie one.
a quickie.
Come on. So Sony, the owners of Naughty Dog, right?
I've heard of them.
They are filing they're filing a notice of opposition with the US Patent and Trademark over somebody trying to patent Naughty Cat. Okay, and they're
Trademark, you mean?
trademark, yeah. So the trademark, they're filing opposition to a trademark application. Naughty Cat dog and cat are highly similar.
Both got 4 legs.
They're both pets. They're
pets.
both yeah. So, and it's that's what they're saying is that the Hong Kong based company Naughty Cat has 2 apps in the App Store and they're both gambling games and like not even close. But they're saying that confusingly the Naughty Cat trademark is confusingly similar to the Naughty Dog trademark in overall commercial impression and connotation.
Come on.
The first dominant element of the two marks naughty is identical. Yes, it's a word that you don't own the word.
You can't have that
You can't- you
adjective
can't
in your
trade-
name.
Can't yeah. Hold on. There's only one naughty in this town. It's identical, said Sony. They're saying that the word naughty is identical.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, Okay. And the second element's dog and cat are highly similar in that both refer to house pets and are likely to mislead consumers into believing mistakenly that Naughty Cat is affiliated with SIE and or Naughty Dog, or that its goods are licensed or approved by it. So they're basically saying people like, well, I wonder if Naughty Cat's made by the same guys as Naughty Dog. Anyway,
Jeez.
I hope this gets absolutely shot down. I have in the show notes, I have another link right below, and it's just a meme. And it says, and it shows, it says corporate needs you to find the difference between the pictures, this picture and that picture. And then it has
Same
Sony.
picture.
They're the same picture, and it's a dog and a cat. It's a great meme.
They're the same picture.
Yeah, they are the same picture. So I don't know. I guess,
It reminds me a little bit of how Monster Energy has for years been aggressively going after any company that uses the word monster in their name.
Right.
And it's just like, come on, really?
I mean, I've
Come
seen it
on.
work
Monster
before.
Jam.
Monster cables,
Didn't the Comic-Con, San Francisco Comic-Con, win that fight?
yeah.
Over.
Yeah, that's
we
why
have
it's
Fan X now?
just called Fan X. It used to be called Comic-Con Fan X.
Yeah.
Now it's just called Fan X.
Yeah.
Yep.
So sometimes it works, I guess.
And that's why, like, the Utah hockey team's not the Yetis, because Yeti Coolers said nope.
I know, which freaking sucks because I thought Yetis was easily the best name.
Easily.
Yeah.
And super
sure.
marketable. Think of
Yep.
that mascot. Easy.
Yep.
Well,
That
now
guy
it's
could-
now it's a mammoth.
Mammoth. Which it's fine. I do think the logo looks pretty good, the Mammoth logo, but Yetis, come on, Yetis would have been so cool. But anyway, that's enough of that. Sports. We don't talk about sports on the
Sports are
video
the
game
best.
show.
That's how I got Lando to tune in.
Yeah, right. He's like, what, sports?
Get him.
All right. Thank you so much for making it to the end of this episode. Before we leave, a big shout out to our Patreon backers, patreon.com/helpdeskarcade. Lando's got a little info on what that's all about.
Yeah, so Patreon's pretty great. It's a way for you to give back to the show if you enjoy what you're listening to. Again, never required, but always grateful for that. If you do throw some shekels our way, we will reward you with some rewards. For $1, you get both shows ad-free early with the in-between. You get access to the super secret Discord, which is awesome. For $6 or more, you get a special shout out in the air, which is my way of saying Jaron says whatever you want him to say. And there were some great ones this week. Unfortunately, Jaron's not here, so it's Owen. But Owen does a good job too.
Owen
That's
had to
good.
wade out into those swamps.
I got my voice is the one saying these words now. I don't know if I like that.
Especially some of the words you got to say.
Now I got to say these. Are we ready for me to say those words?
That was I handed it off to you, and you missed
Okay.
the pitch.
So what I'm going to do now is read these words. Okay.
Okay.
Slap,
ready?
slap.
Are you prepped?
Okay.
Are you prepped?
I-
I'm going to read the words.
I am now here. The words are forthcoming in a moment. Okay, here we go. I'm just here for Owen's stories. You know what? Thank you to that person. I'm here for content, not a nice tight pod.
Oh, you got it this
10
time too.
This one's long.
A little bit long this week as
Here
well.
it goes. 10 tiny techies tweak tangled transistor towers tirelessly. Tony trips, tossing 10 terabytes of tacos at the terminal. There you go.
Tacos.
Fourth dimension craft on Instagram for all your laser engraving needs. Interrupting Kyle. GameStop, you better count your days for cracking my Switch 2 screen with your staple. One smart feller thought he felt smart. Jerry ga Arimasu, Jason Eatman, Tony the Excel and Power Apps Nerd, Kursk Gengar 94, Keslo, Eric Steinman, Connor Kisa, Eric Cruz, Hugh Ja Soul, Burninating Peasant, the in-between rating 350. Think we can do better than that. Not sure. Be the 8-year-old DP. Only champs go slap. If you know, you know. Wesley, sustained on the tears of Switch scalpers. That's a really good one, too. Aaron Faulkner, Stuart Lloyd. Anyone who's capable of getting themselves made president should on no account be allowed to do the job. And finally, yes, Owen, we do care. Me fail English That's impossible. And loose cute.
No. Lou Skunt.
Lou Skunt.
There you go.
There it is. Got it.
I don't like that one. Makes me feel so
All
bad.
right. That is the end right there. Thank you so much for making it to the end and downloading us. Twyman, thanks for joining us this week, man. Appreciate you filling in.
Heck yeah.
All right.
I'm gonna
That's what you
I'm
get.
go spend it.
We're out of here. Owen, why don't you take us out?
Hey, we hope you care.